What's up, my fellow beasts? Your boy Bad Beast back with another combo video. We're doing Dr. Fate this time, so let's go ahead and get into it. As always, guys, we're going to start out with the breakdown, and if you don't want to see the breakdown, you just want to go straight to the combos, check the description. I will leave the timestamp there for that. But we're going to start with the breakdown like usual, and you just hit the circle button or B for the Xbox. And basically, guys, what this does is when you activate it, it changes up your special moves in some way to almost each one of them. I think it is each one of them. But as I go through the breakdown and explain to you the special moves, I will also explain to you what the character power does for that special move. So I will just leave Dark Magic up there so you guys can see that it will be there and what it does to each special move. So let's go ahead and go. So first, guys, we're going to start out with the Amon-Ra Blast, and this is down forward square, down forward X for the Xbox. So when you use this, he basically just shoots a little magic blast out of his finger, some sort of like magic ball like that. So this is probably his best zoning move, well, one of them, but you can just kind of shoot this little blast out of your finger, and if you meter burn it, he'll shoot 3 shots. Basically, all this does, if you use your character power with it, is makes the magic balls red now, and it also makes the damage a lot more. So you can see when I meter burn it, it does a lot more damage than before, and that's basically all it does with the character power. So these are really good for zoning and keeping your opponents away, so you can kind of think about what you want to do next and things like that. Next, guys, we have the Displacer Orb. Now this is just down back square, down back X for the Xbox. Guys, you can shoot this. It's kind of a slow moving orb, which in a lot of games, if you guys aren't really familiar with fighting games, these often can help to trip up your opponent because they're expecting something faster, and a lot of times they will actually miss jump or duck or something like that. If they duck, then they would be fine, but they might miss jump, like trying to jump over it or something, and they jump too soon and they actually hit it or something like that. But an actual cool ability with this is not only that it moves slow, but if you press down back R2 or down back right trigger for the Xbox, when you send this out, you can actually stop it wherever you put it. So it uses a meter, but it's actually really good to stop if your opponent, you can lay it as a trap, or if your opponent is about to jump and you can see they're about to jump and they will time it well, you can stop it wherever it's at and they will jump right into it. I think it's really useful to use for that. So you can just make them jump right into it. It's really good to use for a trap, and it's really good to use to trip up your opponents. So if you use Dark Magic, basically just makes it red and it makes it do more damage. It does the same effect on both the meter burn version and on the regular version, but when you use it, it does more damage with the character power. Additionally, guys, we have Breath of Life. It's down forward triangle, down forward Y for the Xbox. If you use back just after doing this, you can put one behind your back. So the way you use this is it gives you life. So you can kind of use these as little orbs for you to just walk back and forth. You can kind of set 2 of them, and you'll have some to, whoops, you probably couldn't see that one, set behind. After you press back like that, it'll set it behind you. So what you can actually do is, like, if you want to set one here and set one behind you, you have like a little zone where you can just keep regaining health and stuff like that. So if you meter burn it, stays longer, gives you some more health. So it's good to use if you want to keep healing yourself and stuff like that. So it's good to make people aware of what this is. If you use it with your character power, it actually damages the enemy. So it's good if you want to use your character power with this to give them little fields that they have to avoid, and it's just one more thing for them to have to think about. So he is really good as a character for zoning and sort of trapping people up. Very technical. If you trap people up and stuff and you use him right, he is very difficult to face. After that, we have Glyph of Osiris. That's just down back triangle, down back Y for the Xbox. Now, guys, this is a good pushback ability to get aggressive fighters off of you if they're trying to stay on top of you because you're zoning and stuff like that. You just do a pushback for regular, and if you meter burn it, it will push them back even further and do more damage. So it's good to use to keep them off you and gather your bearings so you can think about what you want to do next, because Dr. Fate is a good zoning character and he's good to make traps and do things like that. So it's a good pushback to keep them away from you if you can get a hit on them. If you use your character power with it, it does a little bit more damage, and if you meter burn it, he will do a little bounce back attack. So you can use this to kind of do some combos and stuff like that if you'd really like to. Next, guys, we have a pretty cool little power here, Spell of Judgment. You use this down back X, down back A for the Xbox, and he brings out a little Ankh, and it's 3 Ankhs if you do it 3 times, and you use down forward X to go ahead and dispel this onto him. So when you use them and you get all 3, If you hit them with it after doing down forward X, all three will come down on top of them as you saw there. It does kind of a magic pillar after you hit them with it, if you hit them with all three, and they bounce up into the air. So it's good to catch people off guard with. Not a lot of times they see this coming, so you can kind of keep this throughout the fight too, just to kind of keep them thinking about it. Fight around with it, and then all of a sudden you send it flying at them, and you know, they suddenly have to think about what's coming after that. So when you use this with your character power, the onks become red and they're floating around you now. So now what happens with them is pretty cool. When you send them towards the person, they go in a little row of three. Now I probably should have showcased closer because it's better for closer like that, but it puts them in a little row of three and they explode and make them bounce up on them like that. So it's good for getting people off you and zoning like that. So it's good to throw them away and also do a pretty good little amount of damage there. As you saw, it did about 20%, almost about 20%. So it's very close, and it does a good little amount of damage, good for keeping people away and keeping them having to think about these little technical things that you're using. Lastly, for his special move, guys, we have Sheridan's Lock. This is just down, down, X, down, down, A for the Xbox. If you use this, guys, it closes down all close environmental effects and stuff like that, so your opponent cannot use them. But what's cool about it is if you meter burn it, it actually closes down all of the environmental effects for your opponent for a short period of time. So you see there's a little onk like that over the environmental things. So as long as those are there, that means that your opponent cannot use the environmental effects. So if you notice that your opponent may like to use environmentals a lot, or you're just kind of want to be ready for any environmental attack, you can just use this whenever you're close to them and they won't be able to use them for a short period of time. So it's pretty cool for that. The dark magic character power actually does not affect this special ability, so there's really no reason to use it with this, but this ability really is good by itself. You keep using this and your opponent cannot use any environmental attacks while it is active, so it's really good to make sure your opponent stays in check and they can't keep using things like this. Lastly, for the breakdown, guys, I know a lot of you like to use your super move to do damage instead of worrying about a big combo, so I'm going to show you how to chain that into a combo so you can hit with it effectively every time. So you're going to use Tower of Fate, which is square, square, triangle, XXY for the Xbox. It looks like this. When he slams them down like that after the third hit, you're going to activate your super move and it will connect every time. Alright, now for the big combo, guys, you're going to use Tower of Fate, square, square, triangle, XXY for the Xbox. Looks like this. Secondly, guys, you're going to use Ancient Blast. This is a pretty short combo, so you're just going to use Ancient Blast after Tower of Fate. It's kind of your bounce back ability. It'll throw them across like that. Now, your normal version of Ancient Blast, guys, is just back in X. So after you do that, you're going to do Mystic Push, which is jumping and pressing X or jumping and pressing A. But if you have trouble putting this into the combo, go ahead and just hit this and practice with it like that, so you can kind of get a hold of what you're supposed to do here, and once you get comfortable with it, you can attempt it in the combo. So what you're actually going to do with this part of the combo, though, is you have to wait a little bit after you do Ancient Blast, because when you do Tower of Fate into Ancient Blast, it makes the opponent launch a little farther. So you can see they kind of have to come back like that, and they land a little far away from you, so you have to walk forward a little bit and actually wait and then hit them so that you can hit down on them and then do the last part of the combo. So the last part of the combo is Blood Price, guys. This is just triangle, square, square, X. It looks like this. He throws them up and does a little like casting beam like that, shocks them in the air for a little bit. So this is why you have to walk forward a little bit and then hit with jumping X, your Mystic Push ability, because if you don't, you won't be able to really connect with this that well. So you have to make sure that you walk forward and hit Mystic Push so you can connect with Blood Price. So when you do them all together, they'll look like this. That's it, guys. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did and you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate a like. That would help me out. If you want to see more Injustice 2 content and other things I'll be doing in the future, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. And remember, as always, stay beastly, my friends.